I had always wanted, probably for 25 years now, one of my bucket list experiences was I wanted to be inside an Olympic village to experience what is it like living in a contained space with 10,000 of the world's best athletes. There was 5,000 coaches, sports scientists, doctors, so 15,000 of the most qualified people in the sporting world in one space. Our first ever opportunity was in 2024 to spend time with the Indian men's hockey team. Knowing that they were going to face some of the highest pressure moments of their careers, we needed to prepare this team for that high pressure. There was always going to be some heart-wrenching failures. There was going to be some great successes. We needed to learn, bounce back from each of those because there was only one day between each game. And one of the things that I had done with the Indian and the South African cricket team before was take them to the Swiss Alps. Spent 3 days in the mountains at a Mike Horn training camp. Mike is one of the greatest adventurers probably ever to have lived. A good friend of mine, and between Coach Craig Fulton and fortunately Indian Hockey said yes, we took the hockey team into the Alps, and the idea was to take them so far out of their comfort zone, to expose them to things that were going to be way more unpredictable, hopefully way more scary, way more pressure than what they would experience even if we got through to the finals.
Your own personal safety is the most important. If he falls, he will take me down with him. And if I fall, I will take him down with me.
And we did things like taking the team onto cliff faces, literally where, yes, we were clipped into wire ropes, but if someone, when they unclipped, if they fell, they would have fallen a few hundred meters to their death. So it was genuine life-threatening stuff that if you made a mistake, you would die, where in a hockey field, if you make a mistake, you concede a goal or lose a game at worst case scenario. We took them onto a mountain where we had to walk on literally a snow ridge where we were all roped in. There were 6 players per piece of rope, tied about 2 meters apart. And the idea for being roped in with that group of 6 was if somebody slipped down one side, we were told very clearly what to do. You needed to drop down onto your knees, get center of gravity really low, and try and catch that person and pull them back up the slope. What happened in reality is on 3 occasions, one person fell down the one side, they pulled the next player, the other 3 tried to catch their fall, and on all 3 times, the 3 players who fell pulled the other 3 and they slid down 30-40 meters of a slope and came to a rest at the bottom. It was a safe slide and catch. If we fell down the other side, it was 100% guaranteed death for all 6 players. It was very clear. Mike Horn told us if one person slips down that side, all other 5 need to immediately jump down the opposite side to catch that person. The rope would obviously pull through that snow ridge and we'd be able to rescue that one individual. And we actually used that as a very important metaphor. We came up with a concept that when shit happens, and we knew if we were going to make the Olympic finals, we were prepared for that, we were good enough, preparation was good enough, the strategy was good enough. It was a very realistic goal to achieve the Olympic final. And we had a very clear strategy when shit happens, because we knew it was going to happen. We didn't know when it was going to be, what was going to happen. Maybe the captain was going to get injured. Harmanpreet, one of the best drag flickers in the world. Maybe we would lose a goalkeeper during a game. We only had one goalkeeper, which meant we need to play the game without a goalkeeper. We didn't know what it was going to be, but there were some things like we need to respond immediately. People need to not blame anybody. They need to very quickly move to action, come up with a plan in the moment and rescue the situation, and we could discuss it afterwards, but there could be no blame, no standing back, no waiting for somebody else to do something. A very quick response and accountability was required. And I spoke to Coach Craig Fulton. I said in every single meeting, talk about the strategy of when shit happens, because it's likely to happen if we go the distance. When we got into that tournament, we got through to the quarterfinal game where India played Great Britain. The Indian team had not beaten Great Britain for 4 years. 17 minutes into the game, for those who watched it, Amit Rodas got a red card.
Well, there was some of this. This happened in the practice match for the Draper. Yeah, that's naughty from Amit.
So it's going to be a red card.
Amit Rodas gets a red card. It's not a natural movement at this.
Which meant we needed to play 43 minutes with 10 versus 11 against a team that we hadn't beaten for 4 years. And I don't know enough about hockey, but I'm told that any team at that level, if you play 10 or more minutes, 10 versus 11, the team of 10 players just does not win.
No second castle, it's straight to Harmanpreet. Harmanpreet scores! Player who is aims.
We managed to hold on at halftime to a 1-1 draw. We still had 30 minutes to hold on. When the team came into the change room, Craig Fulton said to them, guys, no team wins from here. This is the time where we can rewrite hockey history by holding on for the next 30 minutes. We have a plan for when shit happens. Shit has just happened. We cannot blame, we cannot look around for excuses. We need to take full responsibility for taking action.
11 shots Great Britain have had.
We have a strategy for if we did have a card and we went 10 versus 11 down. We have a game plan, how to play the game. We come back into our 22. We concede 3/4 of the field to the opponent. We stay in our quarter and we defend our hearts out like lions, like Indian tigers, get a draw in this game, and then we take the game into penalty shootouts.
And somehow they haven't found a way past India, who have secured the shoot-off.
To be honest, I get gooseflesh now. It was probably the most emotional I've ever been in my life after a sports game. That this bunch of warriors fought 10 versus 11 for 30 minutes after already having fought for 17 minutes there back in the second half. And they held onto their 1-1 draw with just pure tenacity, pure responsibility, with the most incredible fight, but also the most incredible precision in their defensive patterns. We drew the game 1-all, and when that final whistle went, the England players' heads all dropped because they knew we should have capitalized on this advantage of 10 versus 11, and the Indian players all celebrated knowing this was a mammoth success to hold the team off for 43 minutes, 10 versus 11. And going into the penalty shootout, the Indian team went in with euphoria and satisfaction and so much confidence. The England players went in with frustration, and we comprehensively beat them.
He's done it! Raj Kumar Pal puts the ball in the net, and India have defied the odds. They have come through this quarter-final in only 42 minutes with 10 players.
Unfortunately, in the semi-final, we probably played the better hockey. We had more possession, we had more shots on goal, but just the nature of sport, the precise German team with the less possession, less shots on goal, they were just a little bit more accurate and also luckier than us, and we didn't unfortunately win that game, but in the bronze medal game, beat Spain to get a bronze medal. An amazing experience, and I think the two biggest things I take away from that is, number one, this team, largely thanks to Coach Craig Fulton, the coaching staff, Captain Harmanpreet, and the senior leadership, they genuinely engaged in what I would call gold standard preparation. In that going into a big event, I don't believe you become the champion when you win the final. Teams that win World Cup finals, gold medals at the Olympics, they arrive as champions, they have been prepared like champions, they eat like champions, they sleep like champions, they train like champions, they have the mindset of champions, win or lose during the tournament. And when it comes to the final, winning the final is just a confirmation that they're always on the right path. And this Indian team, I honestly believe we arrived as champions, we conducted ourselves as champions in all aspects of the game. So it satisfied the criteria of a gold standard preparation. But the nature of the game of sport, luck does play a part. And even though this was a team that could have got gold, deserved gold, prepared for gold, operated as gold winners, didn't get gold. Great experience to be part of a gold standard preparation, and very humbling to have such great preparation and not go the distance. But that is the nature of sport. And the other big thing that I really take out of it is having a plan for failure, knowing that it's going to happen, responding excellently to failure, recover quickly and move on, because the journey to success is always paved with failure, paved with mistakes. So it's the failure and mistakes are not the problem, it's how we respond to them that really counts.